And welcome everybody to the third volume of the Con Hour segment. And we are here today with Naomi Springthorp, who's a USA Today best-selling author. And it's a romance. And many of y'all with Houston having the Astros, it is baseball. So
yes.
So
I love baseball.
I was going to say, tell us what got you into the baseball.
I'm a complete baseball freak. I'm a season ticket holder. I go to 65 to 80 games a year. And I'm that girl that'll wear the t-shirt that says, ask me about baseball. And a guy walking through the stadium asked me a question and then wishes they didn't. So I'm a huge fan, and I've been a fan since I was a kid. My grandpa used to take me to games when I was a kid, and then life got in the way. But then I got back into it, and I've been huge into baseball for about 15 years now.
Nice. And baseball being pretty much America's pastime sport, because it really did start way back in the. I'm not even going to embarrass myself and say when, because that would probably do me in.
It's been around a long time. I follow one of the newer teams, and they were actually started officially as a major league team in 1969. So if that gives you an idea there.
Yes, and I think the Astros used to be the Colts, if I recall, in the 60s. Colt 45s, if I recall.
I'm actually looking forward to going to an Astros game in August. I'm attending Book Lovers Con in Houston, August 11 through 14, and so I'm looking forward to going to a game while I'm there, because the Rangers are playing at Houston, and I'm like, I'm in. Let's go.
Okay, where are you at? San Diego?
Yes, I'm a San Diego girl. I'm born and raised in Southern California.
Oh, get prepared for the Houston heat.
Yes.
I went to boot camp out in San Diego, and I can tell you there is a huge difference.
Most of the time I'll be inside, so I'm not worrying about it, but I can't give up the opportunity to go to the game when I've never been to Minute Maid Park before.
No,
has to happen.
Have you decided where you're going to sit yet? Are you going to be at the Crawford boxes or?
No, I have to figure out where. I'm open to suggestions, but the tickets aren't available until like 45 days prior to the game or something.
Crawford boxes are very good. It's basically the home run section behind third base.
Oh, okay.
And
I will put that on the list.
And the tickets are affordable, or at least they used to be, before they went to a World Series back in the day.
Yeah, I actually, kind of an interesting thing. I went to the All-Star game in 2016, and I went to everything that went with it. You get this strip of tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you into the All-Star game, but it also gets you into the Home Run Derby, and it gets you into, the and I can't remember what it is right at this very second. It's avoiding me. But the game for the up-and-coming guys that are going to be All-Stars, right? And it's just great. Plus, it's like days worth of fan fest, and I went on total immersion for like 6 days. And the Sunday after the All-Star game, I woke up and I know it sounds cliche, but I woke up and I was like halfway through the story, and I wrote the first 10,000 words of my first book in the next 2 hours.
I can believe it, because when my first book, I think I started it was the day after my birthday, because on my birthday I said, I got to really sit down and just get something started. And by the end of May, I had actually written the book, 100 and something thousand words. And it's like,
This this is actually my first one. This is my book baby that I started writing then. And I actually put it away for 2 weeks and said, "What are you doing? Too busy with other things." And when I
mm.
got it back out, I had written the rest of it within 30 days.
So it was quite fun. The editing,
No.
maybe not so much fun, but writing it was fun.
Yeah, it was. The funny thing to me was as soon as I was done, there was another book. And so I had to write that one and then another book and I had to write that one. And I think I had written 6 books before I stopped and even moved on to the next step. Just because the words just kept going. And it's been a great experience and I'm just having way too much fun with it. And I truly love the readers that I've connected with that are basically my baseball girls, to the extent where we started last year a fantasy baseball league. And they asked me to bring it back this year. So we've got an all women's fantasy baseball league going, called the Naughties League. And well, my reader group named themselves Naomi's Naughties. So of course we had to have the Naughties League, and it's just been, we have a great time. I'll tell you what, that is a messenger thread with everything you could imagine coming from women talking about baseball players, but also stats and sharing of videos and photos of different players and things that happen that maybe we didn't get to see because we all know who loves which players, and who we follow. It's a fabulous group of women to be involved with. And I'm just happy to have them.
So, what inspired you to write with, well, we can say baseball because of your love of baseball, but what inspired you to start writing? Let's put it that way.
I always kind of had in the back of my mind that I wanted to write a book, probably 15, 20 years ago. And I knew what that book was actually going to be. I had this idea for the story, and it was going to be called Confessions of an Online Junkie. It's kind of like one of those, bucket list things, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
eventually that's my bucket list. But, and when I just woke up, it was like that one morning, I was like, I didn't have a choice. And after being immersed in baseball for the number of days, it was just like, there it was. And it just happened that way. Interesting thing is, a year after that, I actually wrote my bucket list book. And that I've had it written for 2 years. It's finally coming out in August. And it's funny because you said for your birthday, and it's coming out 5 days before my 50th birthday. So, hit the mark on it, right?
Definitely. And 50, 50 seems to be a good number this year. I turned 50.
There you go. See, it's a great number. And so with this one, I'm looking forward to it. Plus, Confessions of an Online Junkie is also going to be my first book that comes out on Audible, which that's been exciting to deal with that. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Now, with Audible,
Mhm.
what was it like getting, or are you reading your own, or did you get somebody to read it for you?
No, I actually, I've really cultivated a great group of authors because I have a partner in crime that's an author that's also a photographer that we've put together and released anthologies as well as organized book signing events over the past, since 2019. We've been doing that. We've put together a few nice big signings and about 7 anthologies. So I've cultivated a great group of romance authors in our community, and it just keeps growing. I think we're at 200 and something in our little group of people that deal with now. And um, so I reached out to the ones I knew were already doing Audible, and I said, I think I could record my own. And they said, don't do it. And so when it came down for this one, I said, okay. And they pushed me in the direction towards one production company. And I reached out to them and a couple of different people. And I actually signed up with a production company that is handling everything for me. And it took about a week, and I had 15 auditions from narrators,
Um,
which was fabulous.
I was going to say, going through the auditions is fun.
Yeah. I'm not a listener. When I get to, I like to read. I want on paper. I want away from the electronics. I want I want to read. If I'm listening, it's music, at least for me. So it's very interesting to me because everybody kept saying, oh, no, you're going to know as soon as you hear the right one, you're going to know. And it was very odd because it was true. You know, you're listening to them, and this book happens to be a single POV, so it's all female narrated. And it's very odd because when she has to transfer and do the male voices, well, of all of them, the way she does it is absolutely perfect, and the rest of them were all kind of, it just wasn't just right for me. You know what I mean?
I know exactly because I did mine in a Western, and
Mm-hmm.
I even had people out of country. And thank you, William, for sharing this. Had people out of country applying for a Western, and it's like, it just doesn't sound right. I'm sorry.
No, and this one it went over. I was very happy with it, and I did share with a couple of my close reader friends that do listen and things like that because I thought, well, I want a couple opinions to make sure I'm not missing something. So now I'm just excited that the goal is for it to come out the same week as the ebook and the paperback, and uh, we'll see what happens. It's 125,000 words, so it's a pretty good size book. And I got to say, I'm proud of it. When I go back and read it after putting it down for months, I'm happy with my end result. So
That's always the best thing, being happy with you, being happy with the end result.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And my reader group is having fun. My couple people that I have, they're like, they want me to put together games for them to, meet the characters and stuff like that before it comes out. So we'll see how that goes.
now, being an author, I know some people like their quiet space and some others like going like Starbucks with a crowd and writing there. Which do you prefer?
I kind of like my quiet space, but I like a little bit of just static noise in the background. So I have a desk set up in the corner of my living room. I live on the ninth floor in downtown San Diego. So I open up the door to my balcony, and whatever I get out there, that's my background noise. Um, Depending on where I'm at in the book, I make a playlist for every book. And depending on where I'm at and what I'm writing in the book at that time, sometimes I'll have my playlist playing in the background and sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on where I'm at in my story. But for the most part, it's funny that the playlist really can keep me on track
Mhm.
more than anything.
Well, then that kind of leads up to the next question. Would you say that you're a pantser or a planner?
Somewhere in the middle. I'm definitely a pantser, but I do make an outline of my story before I start.
I tried that once, just once. I ended up ripping the outline up. I could not follow the outline. That's
You,
just me though.
you know what really worked really good for the first one was a complete pantser. The three were just completely, but what I learned was that if I make kind of an outline of what I'm thinking I want the story to be, just a really basic, then once I get about the first 3 or 4 chapters done, I can really fill in the rest of it because I know where I'm going and I'm happy with what I come out with. And if I don't, then I always want to add more drama, or I feel like I need another point of contention or something else going on in there, and I have to figure out how to get that added. So it works out pretty well for me if I loose outline and then kind of add to it. I'll find I end up making a list that I have to do this and 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 this, and I just kind of cross them off as I go in the story.
Now, where can people find your books?
My books are all available on Amazon. My baseball books are available on KU. If they happen to be a KU person, but only my baseball books. The rest of my books are available on Barnes and Noble in ebook as well as on Kobo. And my paperbacks are also available in a couple of indie bookstores around. If you happen to be in one of those places like Lancaster, California, or in San Diego, I'm in a couple of the indie bookstores. I'm, right now. Copy of each of my books is actually in Barnes and Noble and Encinitas because I'm signing there here in a couple weeks. So that's going to be exciting.
No.
But otherwise, yeah, all of my everything is available on Amazon. of that, you can reach out to me and I'll send you an autograph copy because, there's more of those in paperbacks. You can't get them without a signature.
That was gonna be another one of my questions, but this is what you said is your fourth book, if I recall.
Yes, that's the fourth book in my baseball series. Right now, 6 of them are out. It's actually going to be 15 books in the series. I'm basically writing a
Whoa.
small town romance, but instead of it being a small town, it's a baseball team.
Now, do you go to conventions or do you have book signings? Where are they all going to be that you can tell us or know about?
Yeah, actually, I'm part of Lovapalooza. So I'm doing that virtual Lovapalooza, which starts on the 17th and goes through the 26th of June. And you can find tickets for that. I believe it's love dash, I'm totally going to get it wrong, 22.com/NS, and that knows it's Naomi Springthorp. And then like I said, I'm signing at Barnes and Noble. I'm headlining what they're calling Rom-Com Night in Encinitas on the 25th at 6 p.m. And then I am July 23rd, I'm signing in Seattle at Readers and Writers Seattle. And then August 11th through 14th, I'll be in Houston for Book Lovers Con. That's what I've got going right now. That's enough to keep me in trouble,
When in Houston? August?
11th through 14th. It's at the Royal Grand Sonesta Galleria.
Okay, so that's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
It's a Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. I really need to get my calendar up to date.
It's a third. You should come out and hang out. It's going to be a great event. I believe there's 60 or 70 authors going to be there, and it's what the old RT events kind of turned into, if you're familiar with those at all.
Mm.
And it's just a little bit different and more reader centric. So they know how to do it up, and it's just going to be a great time. It's my first time attending that as an author, so I was just honestly honored to be invited.
Very nice. And if I can definitely get down there, I will. That's for
Come
sure.
on out. Come on out. I do so. I mean, I know I'm almost out of time, but I do also, other than baseball, I write romantic comedies and 90s throwbacks. So a little bit something different. This is my big romantic comedy that everybody seems to like is My Muffin Man. And otherwise my 90s throwbacks, this is my book 1 in my 90s throwback series that I have out. It's called the Betting on Love series. Because Amazon drives me crazy. If you write something that is in the 1990s, they want me to classify it as 20th century historical fiction.
That's Amazon for you.
Being class of 1990, I cannot. I physically cannot.
No.
So
anyway,
I
agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So, and if anybody wants to give it a shot, I have a freebie out there you can find pretty much everywhere called Falling for Prince. It's part of my baseball series. It's just a super short story, and it's the beginning of a story for our third baseman and somebody that he comes across at his high school reunion. So it's very much a rom-com, and it's just the beginning. But it's out there for free, and anybody can go grab it.
Very nice. And I have all your links on here. I even have Lovapalooza on here so they can join you.
Get it right.
Are you a speaker there also?
I'm not going to be doing a workshop. I'm not even sure if I'm on a panel yet. I'm waiting to find out right now.
Okay. But thank you for coming on the show. And for everybody else, I will be here tomorrow night with another Con Hour segment at 8 p.m. And then Thursday, have another segment and also have our show with Chris Elric, who does props. And we'll talk about props and if he brings them to Comic Cons and whatnot. So, everybody, until our next show, adios.
Thanks. Bye.